Okay, story time. Uncomfortable story time. So there was a time in my life when I was in a very, very toxic relationship. And when I say toxic, I mean I was being lied to. I was on the wrong end of physical abuse. Not that there is a right end, but you know, when you think about people being in abusive relationships, typically you don't think about the dude receiving physical abuse. Nonetheless, I found myself in that position on a couple occasions. The relationship was so toxic, I basically pushed everybody away, including my kids and my responsibility to my kids, albeit for a short period of time. Nonetheless, not an excuse. And something that's near and dear to most of us who watch this channel, at least, music. I basically gave up music. I stopped playing, practicing, recording. I sold all my gear. I sold everything. Absolutely everything. And it only contributed to me feeling lost and depressed and down. It wasn't until after all of this mess that I realized it. And once I started kind of getting over all of that, getting out of the relationship, putting some space and time between it and getting my crap figured out, and realizing one of the most important things I was missing, other than obviously, you know, my responsibility and taking care of my kids, was music. So I remember I went to Musical Round, picked up a guitar, and immediately started recording ideas. And from that moment on, I haven't stopped, no matter what's going on in my life. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I know that there's some of you guys out there who are feeling this type of way, depressed. I mean, let's face it, given this year, you have every reason to feel depressed or lost or uneasy or anxious, given everything that's happened this year. So if you feel like this is you and you're going through a tough time and you know you're not making any progress with anything, on top of that, your music, take it from me, someone who's been there, sold all his gear, and ended up regretting it. Selling your gear is not going to solve any of your problems. It's going to make them worse. Having your gear at a time like this, unless it's desperate money situations, selling your gear isn't going to make those problems any better. Take some time, give yourself some space, some grace to figure out what's going on, because a lack of writing music is not why you're depressed. When you start getting that tickle and that desire to be creative again, you're certainly going to hope and wish that you had your gear by your side. So don't sell your stuff. Hold on to your things. Again, unless it's a dire, desperate money situation, which, again, I've also been there, and I understand. Unless it's that, taking away that, we're not talking about that. If you're just going through some rough times, emotionally, family stuff, don't sell your gear. Put it in the closet if you have to, but just ensure that it's somewhere within reach so that it can be there for you when it needs to be. So I think you would be quite surprised as to how often people run into these, you know, bouts of low times. I like to refer to them as, like, you got peaks and valleys. And sometimes you're in emotional valleys. sometimes you just find yourself in these emotional valleys, if you will, low spots, and you don't want what's going on in one of these emotional valleys to affect what might happen when you're not in one of them, when you're at a peak, when you're in a good emotional place. So if you make a hasty or drastic decision while you're at a low spot, it could affect a potential high spot, or, you know, you just don't want it to bleed over. Or to last any longer than it will, naturally. Because highs and lows are a natural occurrence, my friends. I go through them regularly. Every person does. For as productive as I might seem to be, I have bouts and fits and chunks of time where I'm just simply not feeling it. So I think the real battle is in realizing that the moment you're in is temporary. I'm not saying that whatever feelings you're feeling aren't warranted. I'm not saying that. Or that your low spot isn't for a good reason. What I am saying is think about every downtime or low moment in your life. If you're not in one right now, you've gotten past them all. Sometimes you just have to let yourself be down and out and acknowledge those feelings and realize that it's okay. But the part that will differentiate you from everybody else, or from a lot of people, is just don't let it consume you, and don't let it go on any longer than it maybe should. Now, I'm not trying to speak out of turn or diminish anything that anybody might be going through. I'm just kind of just speaking from my personal experiences. These are the things that I try and think about, that I try and adopt these methods of thinking while I'm going through one of these valleys. You know, and if I'm being totally transparent, I might be in one of these mental valleys right now. The last couple videos, the one that's exporting right now as we speak, the last one, they were very long, they were very informative. There's a lot of information in it, and I'm just trying to share some knowledge. You know, that's my goal. Be helpful this year. Be as helpful as possible. So it's a long video, blah, blah, blah. So the next one's going to be a long video. It's coming out today, Monday. Not sure when you're seeing this. And once I get into it, I dig it. I'm into it. I like it. But I haven't been the most inspired to get started making these videos. And that's when I know, like, hey, I might be kind of in a little... I might be walking through one of these valleys, these emotional valleys. These valleys of that lack inspiration and motivation. And that's okay, because on the flip side of it, wow, I've not been super inspired YouTube-wise. I have been inspired musically. But there are some external stresses going on in my life and with family stuff that really do have an effect on this. So it's like you have to find this balance between acknowledging what's going on, confronting the issues and the problems you need to face, and also not letting it affect every aspect of your life. Compartmentalizing is good, but it's not easy to do. It's just kind of exactly like doing the dishes. Growing up, when I was still in California, living with my family, you know, my sister and I were supposed to like alternate days on who did the kitchen. And since she was 2 years younger and a girl and spoiled, or at least got away with murder, I ended up doing the kitchen pretty much every day for the better part of several years. And I remember thinking, like, I don't ever want to do the dishes when I get older. And sometimes I for sure still hate doing the dishes. But overall, I kind of find it a little therapeutic nowadays. It's very, very interesting. I like a clean kitchen. So all that hell and torment and chores paid off. And my thought process behind talking about these topics was basically to let you guys know, like, you're not alone in having these thoughts and feelings and moments of doubt and, you know, dealing with motivation and how anxieties and depressions affect the things you want to really be doing. We're all going through it. And in the spirit of what the Bun and I are trying to build as far as a positive community, and showing the back end of being a musician, a creative, a YouTuber, I wanted to share my side of it, or my perspective. You know, I know these videos don't get many views, but the views that they do seem to get seem to be impactful. And that's why I put the effort into editing them and posting them and opening up about this stuff, because I want to help people and I want to help you guys. You know, this isn't meant to be like a sad sack video. It's not at all. It's meant to be a bonding video. You know, we can relate. For as connected as we seem to be with the internet and bullshit social media, we also often feel like we're on an island that no one else has ever been on or will be. And that is simply not the case. Most of us have a lot of similar experiences. So I hope this video finds you in relatively good spirits. It's been a long year for everybody, I realize that, myself included. But it's also been a year of realizations in the fact that, you know, we just need to communicate more and better and stop acting like we don't need to talk about everything. Yes, sometimes we need to keep shit to ourselves, but we also need to realize we all have a lot in common and we all go through similar things. Sometimes we just need to talk shit out. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you find it helpful, and see you in the next one. Take it easy.